Welcome to our Alumni Speaker Series. We are delighted to have you join us this evening. In light of everything going on in our country, we wanted to start this event by acknowledging that the University of Washington is here to support our students, faculty, and staff. From a statement by University of Washington President Anamari Kalsay, the post-pandemic goals should not go back to the way it was. We must do better. As we enter into a period where new vigilance around hygiene and closeness will become habitual, and where we measure the consequences of our individual actions, not just by their effect on our own health, but on how they might affect our family and friends, let's create a new normal where attention to issues of equity becomes habitual as well. In this community, in our community, we can and we will continue our work to address issues of equity, racism, and bias. The veil has been lifted. We cannot give up or go back. George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, we say their names to honor their lives and make them matter. From the Center for Equity and Inclusion on the Share the Land acknowledgement, we recognize that all of us at UW Tacoma learn, live, and work on or near the ancestral homeland of the Coast Salish people. In particular, we are situated on the traditional territory of the Puyallup. As people on this occupied territory, we have a responsibility to acknowledge the land, the ancestors who have cared for this land since time immemorial, and all our indigenous connections today. We also have the responsibility to acknowledge the histories of dispossession and forced removal that have allowed for the growth and survival of this institution. In light of this history, let us take active efforts to partner with our indigenous community members and neighbors as we continue our work together as a community of learners, leaders, and educators. We know that many of you are experiencing situations of sadness, anger, and confusion. We too are experiencing these, and we want you to know that the University of Washington is here to support you. UW Tacoma Counseling and Psychological Services and the Center for Equity and Inclusion are both here to support you. We stand in solidarity against racism, injustice, and discrimination. We will pause now and have a moment of silence for George Floyd, his grieving family, and all of those impacted by or lost to this unjust violence. Let us take a moment. Thank you. Again, thank you for joining us today. It is now my pleasure to turn it over to social work student Augustine Canales.
Hello, everybody. I'm Augustine Canales, and I am lucky enough to introduce everybody to Armando Mejia. Armando fills many shoes: a U.S. combat veteran, public speaker, and advocate to military service members, community investor, master's graduate, traveler, and father. Mejia came to Washington through the military in 2000, serving almost 12 years and achieving the rank of staff sergeant. In 2014, he was severely injured and medically retired in 2008, receiving the Purple Heart and being awarded the Combat Infantry Badge. To get his mind off of his injuries, Mejia began his path to higher education that later culminated in a master's in social work at the University of Washington, Tacoma in 2011. Today, he focuses his time on his family and working with the Boeing Global Engagement Team to make a difference in the Puget Sound community. So Armando, why did you choose UW Tacoma for school?
So when I was down at JBLM, I was looking for a school that was close by and location wise, but I had heard so much good about UWT, and I actually went out there and did a little recon with my wife to check it out, and I think it was like a tour that we did, and it just felt like home for me. I think it just fit in perfectly, classes, and then I mean, just the feeling of family there. It was pretty good. So that's kind of probably one of my ways of just when I went there, I was like, I think this is it.
So when thinking back on things, what drives you to get involved in your community?
There's a lot of stuff in the community. I think it helped me just emotionally, physically, socially. It helped me a lot to be able to be out in that community. For me, I think it's more of an honor than a responsibility. Just for me to show my appreciation of the community and giving back um, is a great feeling. But also involving my family, volunteering as well. So my family does go out with my kids, and we go out and interact with people, network, and just give back to the community. So it's a good feeling.
Now, I know some of this has to do with the Boeing Global Engagement Team. Do you have a video that you want to share?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I do. I do have a video. Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this right here. All right. Can you see it?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Here we go.
Hello, my name is Armando Mejia. I'm a community investor with the Boeing Global Engagement Team. We implement Boeing's charitable giving. We primarily focus on our heroes, our future, and our homes. I'm a combat veteran from the Iraq War, served 11 and a half years. They have a program here that I actually joined, Boeing Veterans Engagement Team, the VETS program, that we do a lot of volunteer work. And I'm new to the program, but there's so many veterans, military families, and Boeing really makes a huge impact, and I wanted to be a part of that. Leaving out of the military, I did feel kind of empty and I was missing something. Being a veteran here, it just means a lot to me, being able to give back to the community that I live in, and that's what Boeing does.
That's a cool video.
I appreciate it.
So, so I'm assuming you got this job because it must have come on to you after you got your master's in 2011, Master's of Social Work.
Um,
How did this come about, if you don't mind me asking real quick?
yeah. No. So I actually, while I was going through my master's, I was actually, I believe I was working with, where was I at? Oh, I was at Madigan, actually. I was working at Madigan as an AW2 advocate there. But from there, I was working with the Seahawks for about 8 years. So I worked with the Seattle Seahawks for about 8 years. So I was a community engagement assistant director there, had some amazing time there. And I came upon Boeing. I just want to make a bigger impact and try something different, you know. And I think my MSW really helped me, kind of guide me through everything that I've done and just opened the windows for me. And I took advantage of it. So now I'm here with Boeing.
That's awesome. So part of this obviously came from the MSW program. So when you think back about your experience, what do you think was most significant about you being a UW-Tacoma student?
Oh man, there's so much. There's so much. I think there's a lot. There's a lot of, but probably the most significant. I think I'll go back. I think those internships that we did are huge for me. It was big for me because I only knew military. I joined the military in '96, and since then I was all military until 2011. So it was all, you know, that's all I knew, and for the internships really helped me out and understand what I was looking to do. And I did an internship with Boys and Girls Clubs. You know, being around kids, it was an amazing time with you know, coaching these kids, mentoring these kids. Then I did another internship at the Warrior Transition Battalion at JBLM, and that was a huge impact for me too, just because I had gone through there as well as a service member, and I was, you know, I went through the whole, you know, been there, done that, and then now going back as a social worker internship there, and knowing both sides, it was really impactful for me.
So also thinking back on that,
Yeah.
can you think about any of the professors, mentors, or people in your life that added your experience?
Oh man, yeah, I had a lot of professors. I you know, literally want to thank all of them. I hate to say a few names here and there, but they were great, and I'm sure you can vouch for that as well. I think you know, if I really had to, you know, put names out there, first, my wife, her support was great. Supported me a lot through everything I've been through. She was my rock. And then at school, she's not there, I think, Teresa Holt. I don't know if you knew her.
Yeah, I recognize the name.
Yeah,
Wonderful,
the whole
wonderful.
loved her. Tom Deem.
Yeah,
Yep, Tom.
yeah, yeah.
Very passionate, always there, listen, to listen. Sometimes I didn't understand a few things in school, and a bit lost, and I was able to approach them, email them, and just uh, you know get some feedback from them. So they had an impact on my experience there.
Yeah, they make it feel really,
Yeah.
really welcoming there. So
No.
now also thinking back, if you could go back in time and do something different, like if there's a class that you could retake, or if there's something that you would have paid more attention in, or if there was a class that you didn't get to take and you could go back and take it, what would it be? And like, what would you do differently, if anything at all?
Anything if I can go back. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that. If I can go back, I think I think I would have liked to spend more time with my classmates. I think, all of us were so busy with our lives. I was full-time working, I had a family, and so forth, and just so much going on and homework. And I think if I would have spent a little bit more time with each and every one. We still stay in contact through our Facebook group in our class. We have a Facebook class. But yeah, I wish I would have spent a little bit more time with everybody, just kind of get to know them. That'd have been something I'd love to do all over again. But my classes were great, teachers were great. So yeah.
So how do you feel like your experience at UW Tacoma influenced your career pursuits after graduation? Like, you kind of spoke on it a little bit, but like.
What do you mean? Can you explain that just a little bit more?
So how do you think like being at UW Tacoma influenced what you're doing for a job now? Like,
yeah, no, it did. It opened my eyes. UW did really open my eyes. There are so many resources there for me as well. But I think the MSW just opened the field up for me. I didn't really know what I wanted to do in the beginning when I started my associates. But I think when I went through and got my bachelor's, and then at UW as well, UW Tacoma, it opened my eyes a lot more, and I think it set me on a really good path. I was stressed. I didn't know where I wanted to be, where I wanted to go, and I think it helped me a lot to be open-minded in what I was thinking of doing. And another thing too was I learned to just take every opportunity for what it's worth, and don't let no opportunities go by. So.
Why did you choose an MSW?
That's a good question. I'll tell you a short story of it. But I was getting my associates through Pierce College and Central Texas College, and there was an instructor there, and his name was Dr. Benny. He's in Chicago now. One of my mentors, and he that was my first class. I was in a wheelchair going to class. I was still recovering from my injuries. And I was at Stone Education Center at JBLM, and he was my psychology class. And I met him there. My first paper, he wanted us to write something about what inside of us was hurting, anything that we were feeling. I got an F on that paper, first one. He brought me over, and he was like, "I know you can do better. I know there's something in there. I know there's something in there. Find something in there." And he did it again, and he's like, "Nope, I know there's more." And it took me like 3 times to do this paper, and I did it on PTSD, and it educated me and helped me with that. So then he's like, "What do you want to do after this?" And I said, I really want to just help people, and we want to give back to the community. And he was the one that brought it up. He's like, "What about a social worker?" I was like, I haven't talked to one in a while. I don't know what they're all about. He's like, "Go try it out. Go try to look into it." And every time I was going in class, he would ask me, "Did you sign up already? Did you look it up? Bring me some resources on UW Tacoma and the school." And I got my bachelor's. I loved it, and I wanted more. And then when I graduated, he was there for my graduation. And it was just a small story, but it was really impactful in my life.
So now that you're doing social work, what surprises you the most about what you do.
What I do currently?
Yeah, what you do currently.
There's so much that we do here. I think that surprised me the most was being able to work with alongside 15% of Boeing's workforce, which is thousands of coworkers of mine that are actually veterans. So it's about 20,000 or so veterans, and that surprised me a lot, coming from where I came from before. I mean, there's so many veterans that in Boeing, and then Boeing does a great job in give back to the community environment. And one of the things that really surprised me.
Can you elaborate a little bit on what you do for Boeing a little bit more?
Yeah. So I am a community investor with Boeing Global Engagement, and we handle the corporate philanthropy side of the house, and I handle one of the portfolios, our Heroes portfolio in regards to workforce transition, and then I work with another portfolio, our high school STEM programs as well, and so do a lot of grants, a lot of sponsorships, employee community engagement activities as well, in Washington, Oregon, Montana, Idaho, Alaska, and Hawaii. But I concentrate here in Washington. So it's a really cool opportunity. We get to meet a lot of nonprofits doing some great work in the community.
So when you finished your MSW, was back in 2011, were you nervous at all to be entering the workforce after being in the military for so long?
I was nervous getting in class. my first class in my bachelor's, I walked in and there was only like 3 guys in there. I remember there's like 3 or 4 guys in there, and I was like, "What am I doing in here?" And we had to talk about our feelings and so forth there in that class, and that was just like coming from the military. It was just different. It was different, but that was good.
Do you feel like it was an easier transition for you to go from the military to school to work, or was that kind of hard?
It was a bit different. Not gonna lie, it was a little different because just the setting that you're in. I was in class, still going through counseling and so forth, and I'd sit in the back of the class. I'd look around, when I'm walking, making sure I was safe. I still had those tendencies, and I approached the teachers and I let them know that, hey, I'm still going through some stuff through the military, and I did ask for some help with recording some of the classes and so forth, and it was a bit different, but I adapted and overcame a lot of the obstacles from the military, and coming from the military, we have so many skills, and just knowing how to use those skills, I think really helped me out throughout my career.
What would you say to any students who are nervous about not working or working specifically within any field after graduating?
After graduating,
yeah,
like advice?
Yeah.
I would say, find your balance, know your value. Each of us are so valuable. I truly believe that if you put everything, all your effort, it determines, your results. But as well, if you maximize every opportunity and put everything you got forward, that would determine success. And there will be speed bumps on the road, and but keep at it. It's a great opportunity.
So real quick, this is a good one. If you were to compare your work environment to a TV show, what TV show would it be?
I would say,
and you're gonna have to elaborate too.
I know. I would say I'm gonna go with Jeopardy. I actually love Jeopardy.
Okay.
I actually Jeopardy because it's not, every day we're learning stuff. I'm learning so much where I'm at, whether I'm on the phone or I'm talking to a nonprofit of going out to in meeting people, networking. It's always learning. And at the end, I might not get my $500 or $1,000 like Jeopardy, but I get more than that. I get that relationship, build that relationship with that nonprofit or that person. So, I think Jeopardy.
That's a good one. I like that. Good answer.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel like there's something in your day-to-day work that you weren't expecting that came about that you like have to deal with now or anything like that?
I knew that we were gonna work with the community. I wasn't aware of the extent of how much we work with our communities. We're so involved. Our team is so involved in the community. I think that, and then just the various nonprofits that we work with throughout the year, making this huge impact in the community. I think that was pretty big for me. Coming, with the Seahawks, and you do have a fan base there with the Seahawks, but coming over with Boeing, it was a bit different for me, and it kind of cut me off guard. That I was like, whoa, we make a huge impact in the community here, and working with so many nonprofits out there, it's been great.
So you've been doing this for a while. So how has the whole COVID-19 impacted your day-to-day life, work, home, everything? Like for you, how has it impacted everything for day-to-day for you?
Yeah, I think it's been tough for all of us, one way or the other. This pandemic has really tested a lot of us, whether you're from work, working at home or working on the front lines. It's altered, our daily routines. I know my daily routine has changed differently.
Oh, yes.
The social isolation as well, it's been different. I've moved, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4 times in my house with my office. My first office was downstairs, but it was too loud. Then I went up to the other room upstairs. One thing that I think, one person I think that's going to be really upset when I go back to work is my dog. My dog, Remy, she's a German Shepherd. She still doesn't understand why I'm here every day. She loves it every day. So it's altered, our schedules. My 3 kids, they go to 3 different schools, different times. We've been at times, all of us have been on Zoom meetings, which is different, which is really different. So hopefully we can get over this and just move forward.
So also during this whole lockdown and stay-at-home order, what are you doing to protect your mental health? Or what do you do and your family's mental health?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I think for us is self-care, being outside like you are with amazing view. Being outside, also trying to, stick with my schedule, get enough sleep, making sure I'm not on my screen all day, eating healthy. I have my 3 active kids, so sometimes they're like, Dad, let's go out, let's go work out for a little bit. So trying to, catch up to the kids there as well, and just focusing on the positive on everything. We try to do as much. We played, Friday Night Lights. We have bingo on Friday Night Lights, we call it. So just us here. We've done like Zoom games. So I'm sure you're aware with La Loteria.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game, the bingo game, and I play with my mom, my sisters, everyone's on there. So just being, just enjoying it and try to continue to stay positive throughout this whole thing.
So last question.
Yeah.
What is one piece of advice that you would give to current students?
One piece of advice. I think I mentioned it earlier. I think just find your balance and make sure you're able to adapt to everything that comes across you. Yes, you might have a schedule, but it changes all the time. And that with going through school and things can happen throughout. Just stay positive and and see what what you can do today that you did better yesterday. So just continue to move forward. So
There we go.
yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Actually, I was gonna show you. I was gonna tell you guys earlier. I told you I was showing you a picture. So my niece just graduated from up the hill. That's her right there from Stadium High.
Oh,
She
awesome.
graduated. I think she got straight A's. And this is her at my graduation when she was little.
Well, that is awesome.
Yeah. So she's going to UW Tacoma in September.
Oh man, that is awesome.
Yeah, and she's gonna be pursuing social work.
That is amazing.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's amazing, and she's been through a lot in her life, and she wants to work in the community. And when she told me that, I was almost in tears. And she told me that. So just wanted to share that. I'm so proud of her, and hopefully, she might be an alumni one day.
That's awesome. So I don't have any other questions for you.
Okay, so Augustine, with that, we could go to Q&A. So if there's any questions, people can go ahead and put them in the chat. Or you can come off mute.
I'll come off mute. This is Naman. Armando, thank you for sharing a bit about your background. I was curious, given your near 12 years of military experience, did you get any takeaways or lessons that you implemented directly as a higher education student or life as a whole that you could share with us?
Oh, man, there's so many skills, and I'm sure Mark can tell you a few as well. But I think the biggest takeaway that I can say just the can-do attitude for me, being able to do anything that if I believe I can do it, I can, and not put myself down in any way. That the leadership as well, being the leader from the front, but also the teamwork, the different styles of leadership as well. That's helped me throughout to be able to communicate with others as well. As you know, in the military, it's straightforward, and sometimes when we're out in the civilian world, it's a bit different. But just knowing how to adjust and overcome has helped as well. And understanding what I learned in social work is listening. That's helped me so much to be able to listen to people and see where they're coming from. So, yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Are you
Armando.
able to see the chat box?
Yeah, right here. What are some of the ways that you stayed engaged in the alumni community outside of this type of event? I'm always following UW Tacoma on social media and seeing what's out there. I got a few buddies out there as well, going out there. But now that my nieces will be going down there, I will be there, probably to have lunch with her and so forth as well. But no, just trying to see what events are out there for UW Tacoma, staying active as well. So I see there's another one here. Some great reading or some great movies for both pleasure and inspiration.
So that says, please share some great reading or some good movies you enjoy for both pleasure and inspiration.
Oh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. A movie. What movie? I tell you the truth, I haven't watched a movie in a while. I have not watched a movie in a while. I've been so busy working. We just watched, actually, as they called, Higher Learning, a movie. I think it's called Higher Learning. I just watched a movie with my kids and so forth. But reading wise, there's so many great great reading materials out there. One of my buddies actually, I'm trying to think of his name. He's a Medal of Honor recipient. Wrote a book. If I can think of it, I'll post it on here. Great book to read as well. Let's see what else is here. Would you be open to?
Mejia says, would you be open to being a mentor for an internship, and would your company allow for that?
I believe Boeing does have internships there. I could, once this is over, you can connect with me and I can see if I can find the route for you, so you can go move forward through that. But I believe so. I'm not an HR person, but I'm sure there is.
And from Jay Hewitt, thanks Armando for sharing your experiences. I joined in a little late, but as a vet, did you use the VMRC? And if so, what specifically did the VMRC assist you with?
So when I was there, they had one person, I believe, at UW Tacoma. I forgot his name. He was the one that was doing all of our paperwork and making sure we were good to go with school. I used my recovery or rehabilitation program benefits. That's what I used, but he was always there for me by text, phone, email, you name it. I don't know if it was called the VMRC back then. Do you remember when they first started the VMRC? I don't remember.
You're asking Jay Hewitt, the person that asked the question?
Oh no, just anybody. If anybody knew.
Does anybody know when the VMRC was started? They said, no, I don't, sorry.
Yeah, no, but I've heard great things. I do have a lot of buddies going through there. Excuse me, and they've used it. And I think the connection, excuse me, and the resources have stood out.
Okay, are there any other questions from anyone? You can come off mute or enter in the chat.
Yeah, I'll come off mute. So Armando, I'm always curious to hear
Oh,
why.
your volume is down. Can you turn it up a bit? Can you turn it up?
Let me scoot over to now. My mic is quiet. I'm always curious to. Can you guys hear me?
Not really.
I'll type.
I heard, I'm always curious too, but it's the really low.
Yeah. Nope.
Oh, did you want to put it in the chat? Mark Glenn, so while we're waiting on that, Mark Glenn says, Armando, thank you for your service, my brother. It is an honor to hear your story. I look forward to meeting you in person soon to share some stories. What would you say would be the best way for a new nonprofit to engage large donors for veterans issues?
No, great question, Mark. I would research the companies, the corporate companies that you're looking to target. Most of them do have their corporate philanthropy site. I would definitely check those out. Check the guidelines and the strategy to make sure you align with your mission, your values, align with the strategy of that company before you you reach out as well. That's probably one of the best advice I can give you. I'm sure there's a lot of organizations that do have that those websites for sure.
Thanks, Armando. I just want to say, I know you got an extremely busy schedule, but I look forward to carving out a little bit of time to get to know you a little better and potentially learn some more from you. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Karina Tapia says, why did you decide to stay in Tacoma after you left the military?
Great question, Karina. I actually got here in 2000. I came from probably where Mark's at in Hawaii right there. I came from Hawaii actually, in Schofield Barracks, Hawaii, and I landed here. It's funny because I left Hawaii and it was 90 something degrees, and I showed up here and it was 10 degrees snowing. And but I just loved it. I love the city. I love the people. And then, you know, I have a family. My family. I met my wife here as well, and I love. Crazy enough, I love the weather. I do like the weather here. So, but it's a great place to be. It's a great place to be.
I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
What would you say was your hardest experience going to UWT, and what did you do to overcome it?
The hardest experience?
Yeah.
Me? Ooh, good question. The hardest for me to experience, I think for me was probably being able to open up. I think I was holding so much inside. Being when I was injured, I got injured pretty bad, pretty severely, and going to school and being able to open up to people that I hadn't talked to, but we were all in it together. You know, I had a guard up my first, in my master's, I still had, I think I got my first year or so, kind of get to know everybody. It was tough. It was tough. And just being able to open up personally for me, to talk to people about my feelings and so forth. And it helped me too, because it helped me open up to my wife too when I was at home. It did help my family as well. And now, you know, I talk to my wife and she's like, "Don't be using those social work skills on me." But no, it did. It really helped me open up. That's probably from everything that I mean, I remember I had surgery my last year or so, and I was still, you know, going to school and crutches and so forth. And but I think the hardest thing was just opening up to everyone there.
Did you ever get involved in any social activities or student organizations on the campus?
I'm trying to remember. It was 9 years ago. Actually, yesterday, I graduated UWT 9 years ago. I'm trying to think if we ever. I believe we did. There was something we did with our class. I remember we were getting not autographs, signatures from people down in one of the hallways. I don't remember what we were doing there, but I remember we were just getting signatures. I think it was for a bill. So we were working on a bill and trying to get signatures, if I remember right. I did that, volunteered that for a while, but most of the time it was just personally tough for me with the family, the work. I was trying to do as much as I can, but no, I wish I did more.
Leslie says you have a busy personal and professional life. Do you still find time for community involvement? Do you volunteer? Do you mentor?
Yes. With Boeing, we have the ability to volunteer as well, which has been great. And I've taken my two kids to volunteer. We volunteered at Camp Murray. I think it was last year we did towards the end of the year or this year. But yes, I still do try to be involved in as much as I can to volunteer. I'm still a board member with SEGS for Vet. It's a Segways for Vets, so SEGS for Vets. Still board member there. I try to volunteer actually here in the community here where I live. I've been getting food trucks to come by our neighborhood and just so people to come out and just, you know, say hi to everybody and still, you know, making sure we're 6 feet apart, but just trying to be, you know, be involved in the community. It's a great thing. And mentoring, I have a few, even to this day, I still have friends of mine, battle buddies of mine that I still talk to. And I've told them that my phone's here 24/7. They can call me anytime they have a question to answer or just want to talk. So I'm all ears for them.
Okay, looking to see if there's any other questions. We'll wait a couple minutes. I know you've shared a lot, so people are reflecting. It's awesome what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. No, I appreciate it. It's an honor to be here. No, I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, it looks like there are no more questions. Is there anything else that you would like to share that we haven't talked about at all?
I just want to thank you guys so much for you guys doing this. It's an honor to actually, to be able to do this for UWT. It has a special place in my heart, UWT, and I'm sure I'll see you guys here coming up soon with my niece going to school down there. For sure, I'll see her down there. But no, it's just great that you guys are doing this during these times. Great to see faces. Met Augustine today, which is great. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it.